Hello and welcome to A Deadly Silence. I am your host, Larry Curtis, and we are here at beautiful Salisbury Park in downtown Brockton, celebrating National Recovery Month. Today at Salisbury Park, we want to recognize our sponsors, BAMSI's, Brockton Neighborhood Health Center, Stairway to Recovery, and the Latin American Health Institute for bringing this beautiful second annual cookout here to Salisbury Park. And with us today is Rosemary, who is a recovering addict in alcohol addict in Stairway to Recovery. Rosemary, thank you, and tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
Okay, I think the Stairway Recovery is bringing a lot of hope to Brockton. Being born in Brockton and raised in Brockton on the east side of Brockton, where I never thought that anything quite so positive could even enter the city of Brockton. I've always, for the last maybe 2 years ago, seen activities over at the Stairway to Recovery and didn't know really what was going on. But now that I'm sober and I'm in recovery, this is a place that I come to that occupies my time. Being new in recovery, when you don't have much to do or where to go, this is the place.
How long were you an alcoholic?
I was an alcoholic and addict for 37 years of my life. Since the age of 12, I grew up in the projects of Brockton on the east side. And it was like, to me, like just drugs everywhere. And to see this kind of thing happening, and it brings you just that little bit of hope.
So Stairway to Recovery has allowed you to come out here every day and be with individuals who are supportive and understand, the challenges that you're facing. And you've been clean now for how long? 16 months?
16 months, come October the 13th. And yes, they have motivation meetings every day of the week at 10 a.m. And in between classes, I'm in college now, and I make it here between my classes every single day.
Rosemary, thank you for stopping by and sharing with us your story. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Welcome back to A Deadly Silence. We're here live at Salisbury Park on National Recovery Month, and with us today is Brian. Brian is a recovering addict in addition to a staff member in Stairway to Recovery. Brian, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Larry. It's great to be here.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself as an addict and what Stairway to Recovery has meant to you?
Myself as an addict, I suffered with addiction for over 20 years, and I could never get out of my own way and put my life together until I came to recovery. I've been clean now over 11 years. Here at the center, I work at Stairway to Recovery, and at Stairway to Recovery, we're an organization, we're a peer-to-peer led program. What we do at Stairway is we provide a safe environment for people who are seeking recovery. We like to have like a family atmosphere at our center so that people can come there and start to put their lives back together.
And this is a day program. It's not an overnight program. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're a day program. We're open 6 days a week, Monday through Friday. We're open 9 to 5. On Friday nights, we're open till 8, and on Saturdays, we're open 10 to 5.
So the addict that's out there today, not sure where they can go, this would be a great opportunity for them to come and be amongst their peers as well as the supporting staff that you represent in helping them work and control that addiction issue.
Yes, it is, Larry. We encourage people that are in recovery to come to our center. Whether if you're 1 day clean or 20 years clean, we encourage you to come to our center so that we can help the people in our community. We need people from all walks of life to come in and to start their journey back to life.
And would the center be able to help an addict who maybe isn't clean? I know that you want to have clean people in the recovery program. What if somebody comes in and they basically are still under the influence?
What we do is we also offer a lot of help. If somebody's under the influence and they want to do something about their life, we at the center, we will come together, we will find a place for them to go. We will transport them to a detox. We'll get them to wherever they need to be. If they need to go to the hospital, wherever it is, we're open to people and have them to get them on the track where they need to be.
And you've been clean now for 11 years. And how long have you been on as staff at Stairway to Recovery?
I've been staff at Stairway for 2 years. I've been there, and it's been a great experience. I love it.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining. Welcome back to A Deadly Silence. I'm your host, Larry Curtis, and we're down here live at Salisbury Park, and we're celebrating National Recovery Month. And with us today is Susan. Susan is a recovering addict, as also is a staff member with Stairway to Heaven. Susan, welcome to our program.
Thank you for having us.
Susan, can you tell us a little bit about the addiction that you have been fighting and what brought you to Stairway to Recovery, and how did you become a staff member?
Okay. I was in active addiction for 24 years. Tried different treatment centers and everything, and I just wasn't ready. God willing, a day at a time, almost 5 years ago, I surrendered. And at that particular time, I didn't go to treatment. I did it on my own. I did it at home. I just had the desperation and the willingness to change my life and stop hurting myself, killing myself slowly, and destroying my family. So I surrendered, like I said, almost 5 years ago. And when I surrendered to alcohol and drugs, I also surrendered to cigarettes because I smoked cigarettes for 25 years. And immediately I started working in the field. I didn't even have a year clean. I started working in a treatment center after a couple of get-well jobs in a couple of factories. I had a girlfriend who had some substantial clean time and was the program director of a halfway house on the North Shore. And she offered me a position over there, and I took it. And right away I knew it was where I belonged. And ever since then, that was 4 years ago, 4 years and 1 month ago. And since then, I've gotten a couple of promotions. I worked in a couple of clinical settings. I had the opportunity to be a case manager at a couple of treatment centers. And as I moved back to the South Shore, I was still working on the North Shore, and I was commuting, and I knew I had to do something because gas was going up. And at National Recovery Day at City Hall in Boston last year, this time I met Ephraim Byers, who was the director of Stairway to Recovery, because I was there with my clients from another center, a treatment center. And he told me that there was a job opening, and I emailed him my resume. And when I went to Stairway to Recovery, it's non-clinical, and it's something different. It's one of 6 in the state of Massachusetts. There was something about that center, because I had another job pending, and I didn't know which one I wanted to take, but Stairway to Recovery pulled me in. It's an awesome place. I was able to put the boundary down because in a clinical setting, I can't let them know that I'm in recovery and I can't share my personal experience. But that was the key, that there I could share me.
If you had one thing to say to the women out there in particular about Stairway to Recovery, what would that be?
We need you. One, because the ratio of men to women, I believe, is probably 3 to 1. Come on in Stairway, give yourself a chance. Come join our woman support group and come see what we do.
This is your host, Larry Curtis, for A Deadly Silence. We're here at Salisbury Park in Brockton, and we're celebrating National Recovery Month. And today's the cookout, second annual cookout from Stairway to Recovery. And with us is Samuel, who is also a recovering addict, but also a volunteer with Stairway to Recovery. Samuel, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
How did you become a volunteer, and tell us a little bit about your recovery experience?
Okay, at the beginning I didn't know that the center was in Brockton, but then people were talking about the center, so that was the way that I got to know the center was there. So my experience with the center has been great, because I've been learning a lot from people, and I am 15 years recovery already.
You're 15 years recovery today? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and as a volunteer, what do you do for Stairway to Recovery?
Okay, what we do is go into the community, make outreach on the community. We get intakes, and that's the most that I do in the center.
So you're spreading the word of Stairway to Recovery and letting people know that there is an alternative means for spend their day amongst not only fellow addicts, but in recovery, but also staff members that are supportive.
Yep, that's true.
Thank you for your time, Samuel. Welcome back to A Deadly Silence. I'm your host, Larry Curtis, and we are here at Salisbury Park celebrating National Recovery Week. And with us this afternoon is Diana, who is a recovering addict. So, Diana, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
So what brings you down here to Salisbury Park at the second annual picnic?
Well, basically, probably about a year ago, I visited Brockton, Massachusetts. I'm from Quincy, Massachusetts, and I've noticed the desperate need for the recovery process. I mean, recovery is possible, and as Quincy, I am a resident in Quincy, I've noticed that there's a lot of recovery in Quincy, and Brockton is just a desperate need for healthy homes.
Are you affiliated with any recovery programs today?
Yes, I am. We just opened up a sober house, very beautiful home at 4 Hampton Road. It's a men's home. And it's for recovering addicts. We take pre-release, we take them from parole, we'll take them from probation, we'll take them from halfway houses. Basically, and we'll do an exception for detox. It will depend.
But you'd rather basically the program is really set up for somebody who has gone through detox and is beginning the recovery process.
Definitely.
Right.
That's
Okay.
one of the guidelines and rules.
Okay.
You have to be off drugs.
And what are you finding out that in the short time you've been down here in Brockton?
Well, in the short time is that I'm looking at a place to live in Brockton. So I'm basically going to move from Quincy. I've been there 9 years, and I'm coming to Brockton because I feel some type of connection with Brockton. And I know there's a lot of need here for men and women. It doesn't matter.
Your program is a men's program, but I will tell you that we certainly look forward to having you become a neighbor with us in Brockton and expanding your program, helping all of the addicts out there. Diane, thank you very much for joining us. We're back here at Salisbury Park on National Recovery Month, and we're celebrating the second annual picnic for Stairway to Recovery. I'm your host, Larry Curtis, with A Deadly Silence, and with me this afternoon is Spencer. Spencer is a recovering addict and is also a volunteer with Stairway to Recovery. Spencer, welcome to our program.
Thank you for having me.
So Spencer, can you tell us a little bit about your addiction, how it all kind of came about? And I understand as a volunteer you now are also working with Stairway to Recovery there. Tell us a little bit about that as well.
Oh, working at Stairway Recovery is one of the best things that ever happened for me. I first got there in May. They opened me with welcome arms. At the time, I was in another program that helped me out also, and I've been clean well over a year now, and been doing very well. And those who come in at Stairway Recovery are welcome with open arms. I help them out over there a lot. Anybody who wants help, I have no problem with help.
And this is a both men's and women's day center?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So how long were you an addict?
Oh, I was an addict for about 5 years or so.
For about 5 years, and almost a year now you've been in the recovery and staying clean, and the support base from your fellow peers in addition to the counseling that you get at Stairway to Recovery has been a great help, I understand.
Absolutely. It's been a blessing for me. I mean, a lot of things have been going well as opposed to when I was using out there for quite some time, and I reflect back on what was done to me out there, how I was out there in the streets and stuff, and when I got with Stairway to Recovery, it's been a whole new experience. Doing volunteer work is very helpful. I'm very serious about my recovery. I take it very serious, and anyone that wants the help, I know what they're going through, and I'm always wanting to help them.
If you had one thing to say to the men out there who may not be familiar with Stairway to Recovery, what would that be?
That would be come down and see us, and we got all the utility that you need.
Spencer, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Larry Curtis. With me this afternoon is Mike. Mike is a recovering addict, but also a volunteer with Stairway to Recovery. Mike, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Mike, can you tell us a little bit about your addiction and how you became a volunteer with Stairway to Recovery?
Well, basically, I was growing up in Florida. I had just moved here a little over a month ago. My life became unmanageable. I couldn't do it on my own. I changed my surroundings, people I was with, and I just knew it was the right time. I had to do something, so I took initiative. I joined a New Beginnings sober home here in Brockton. The people there are awesome. The house is amazing. The people there brought me to Stairway to Recovery, and from day one, I was pretty much there 9 to 5 every day, doing every group they had, just following the rules that they had that lead you on the right path. And
So as an addict, you are actually in a recovering sober house, I believe is what they're called. New Horizons is the name, and as Stairway to Recovery is kind of more of a day outlet to allow you to become involved with different activities and services that they provide for you.
yeah, it takes up a lot of your free time, I mean, that was one of my biggest things, was trying to keep busy and not be bored, not think about what's going on, try to stay busy. They have all kinds of activities with foosball tables, they have TV, internet, air hockey, like a lot of good people just to talk to. And
I also understand that they have, with their computer systems, they've got job search activities, things of that nature, trying to hook the different recovering addicts up with jobs and doing resumes and things of that nature. Have you been able to utilize that yet?
I have, actually. I just started a job last Friday. It's going well. I like it. And I mean, the program has done a lot for me. The people actually care. You can tell that they care. They're not just there just to be there. And I wouldn't have made it as far as I have today without Stairway to Recovery.
So you're basically a newbie here in the city of Brockton, and you found a life net, so to speak, and welcome to the city of Brockton, and we wish you the best of luck. Me this afternoon is Peter. Peter is a recovering addict in addition to a volunteer with Stairway to Recovery. Peter, welcome to our show.
Thank you very much.
Peter, can you tell us a little bit about your addiction, what happened, and how you became involved with Stairway to Recovery?
Yeah, I grew up in Brockton my whole life, and growing up as a young kid, I got into the drugs pretty early, smoking weed and this and that, and it progressed really fast, and eventually, before I knew it, I was a full-blown heroin addict, and my addiction brought me to some horrible places. I did a lot of time in jail. I did a lot of stupid things that I'm not proud of. I shamed my parents. I have 2 children that I haven't really been there for too much, and it just came to a point in my life that I was just fed up. It was time to call it quits. I noticed that it wasn't getting any better out there. All that was happening was I was ending up in handcuffs and behind walls, and it's not the life that I wanted to live. It's not it's not what I wanted to show my kids. You know what I mean? It's not how I want them to grow up. So I decided to change and turn my life around, and I'm not going to say that everything happened overnight, because I've definitely had my struggles, ups and downs. I've had periods of clean time and then fell off, and it was in the end ultimately my own choice. I just wasn't putting 100% in, and like I said, it just came to a point in time where I was just sick and tired of doing the same old things over and over, and I just wanted a better life. So I got involved in a recovery home, and I've been volunteering here, try to fill up my day and, do as much productive things as I can instead of running the streets and, just doing all the negative and all the grimy things that I've done,
Taking the negatives of the past and turning them into a positives for today, not only for yourself, more importantly, but your children as well.
Yes, yes.
And you're in a recovery home right now as well?
Yes.
Where is that home?
It's in Brockton. It's on the west side off of Pleasant Street on the corner of Hampton.
Okay. And is the name of that home? Is it a particular organization?
I actually just moved into the house, to be honest with you. I know it's...
Is it New Horizons? Yeah, I believe New Horizons. Okay, all right.
I just moved in. It's affiliated with all this.
Okay. Well, great. I want to thank you for stopping by, sharing your story with us, and wish you the best of luck. We have a special guest with us actually here today, Enrique, who is actually the first member to become a member of Stairway to Recovery. Enrique, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about the startup of Stairway to Recovery, please.
Oh, the startup was amazing. We started off with planning what we wanted to do with the location and the services that we was trying to implement. Because I'm a resident of Brockton for the last 20 years, I kind of been through the ringers of through the